Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. Early this Monday morning, as I've been so many other Monday mornings, worthwhile for you. I kind of suffered the thought that I find myself again speaking to you all of these thousands of times. And each time, the solution that I offer for the problems that have been identified or are being identified is the same solution. And I use that solution to address most of our problems. And I address those problems periodically by changing the title. And changing the title allows me to take a different approach, and yet the same outcome. Sort of like Oprah Winfrey and those guys talking about there are a lot of ways to God. Might not be your way or that way, but if they lead you to God, then who got a problem? The question becomes to many that there is only one way to God. Somebody say that one way is love. Other people interpret that as meaning a one way to God means that there's no other way to God except between you and God. And that means you not following others' programs. You're not following my programs or John's program. Kind of similar to the fact that of a coach. God is a coach, and the coach knows what he's trying to do, and the coach set up the strategy for doing what he wants done to achieve the goal that they're reaching at. And everybody knows what that is, and they're willing to play. So you got different positions. You know what they are. Everybody watches football, so I don't have to tell you that. But you know you got to do your own job. The only way you excuse from doing your job is when your area is so protected and somebody else finds themselves weak in a moment that you can get there and defend that position. That makes you extraordinary. Well, God is that kind of coach. And he's saying that based upon what is given to the receivers, the strategy, that's what they follow. What is given to the defense, that's what they follow. And no ifs and ands about it. No working out a deal between the receivers that they're going to do a certain maneuver, and it's all anti what the coaches said. But many times that is done. We have that done in the church by talking about we got Methodists, we got so on and so forth, Baptists and other Protestants and Catholics. You got them doing mixing like that. I guess that's what Oprah is saying, and those other guys who think that way is if that'll get you to God, then so fine. The truth of the matter is, though, it's not getting people to God. It's just getting. It's not doing anything for God. And I can tell you this that I know because this has been given to me to know. And so I feel comfortable, dear God, in saying the things that I have to say to the people. Now, what I really want to say at this moment and at this point and at this time is that the way to peace and prosperity and freedom of everything and joy of life and the fulfillment of your dreams, all of this comes from an understanding and a relationship with the one way. The one way meaning you listening to your coach and doing what your coach says do. And by doing what your coach says do, it'll get you to the outcome the team is seeking. So, does that mean that love is the way that every part of the team is played toward love? Well, there got to be something that's common amongst all of them for a common outcome of victory. Got to be something common amongst all of them, and there's nothing better than everyone doing their own position to the best of their ability. And in doing that, you make the job for everybody else so much easier. And so if love is the element that allows that to happen, and we can agree that it is, because it keeps things cohesive. It keeps things connected, and then it'll lead you on down the line. Now I'm really going around the bush. I had the police coming over there somewhere, and I'm a black man sitting out here in the middle of the park. I didn't know whether somebody had kind of profiled me and had the cops. I've never seen them out here before. I've been out here for years. I've never seen the cops driving around out here. So I kind of got a little focused on watching them, and might have taken me off the path a little bit. And I hope I didn't waste your time, but I want to get back to what my point really is. My point is this. For those of you who have been listening to all kind of people and you're so confused and you don't know what to do, I want to give you something that you can follow. Many of you who are living now know of Dr. Martin Luther King. Many of you don't. I would advise you to go look him up a little bit, see what he was about. Dr. King represented love. Dr. King represented heavenliness. The plans that he talked about was about freedom and love for those who were being denied it. He wasn't trying to really take people down who was robbing folks. He was just saying stop the robbery. And he was giving them justification, the laws that they themselves had passed, agreed to. And to top that with the truth of God, the truth of love. What is that? That means if you were in this position, what would you want to happen to you? The best, for sure. That's truth of love. Anyway, that's what Dr. King represented. All that you go to church for, when you walk out of there, you should walk out of there feeling like Dr. King, that if the world and areas are so messed up that there's something to do. There's nothing normal. We got work to do. Now, on the other hand, you got Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump represents Satan. Now, why do I say that? See, Satan represents evil. Satan represents destruction. His whole purpose is to deceive and con. And that's all that Satan does. Duchess, come back. Come here. Got to get my dog close too. So that's all Satan does. Come here. He deceives and mess over people. Can't stop. Now, everybody knows. Here she is. Everybody knows that ever since Donald Trump has been in office, he's been lying. And everybody that loves him been telling the same lies even when they were knowing, when they knew they were lies. They didn't mind. It's just what liars do. They lie. Deceive. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have put before you two main examples that we can easily understand. You know what King was about. You see what Trump is. Trump is lying. He's trying to deceive. He tries to tear down the country. He tries to, because it's all about him. That's what this is all about, him. Now, think about it like this. Out of everything he's done, he's still walking around free. They're still investigating. He's walking around free, but he's scared. Not only is he scared, he still wants power. So he still hasn't stopped the lies. Talking about he's gotten some people now, we ought to know. You saw what he was trying to do in Atlanta. He was calling people saying, just do this for me. Do this for me. And those people wouldn't do it. They had some moral standards. They had something that they just couldn't cross. But there was those out there who he knew would, but they weren't in the right place. So he used his machine, that mouth of his, and that evilness, that spirit of him, to get those who would, who had already expressed themselves, many of them at the state capitol ready to attack the country for him. And now they come together as a group. They're going to go down there and they're going to play with these ballots, like when he told you to drink Purex and he was going to clean you up. They're going to go in there and do some old crazy stuff. They didn't care what it is. It's going to come back and tell you and don't care what you think about it. And they're going to come back and give you some stuff that's going to give you so much confusion. They might even come back and tell you that, like Donald Trump said, there were millions and millions and millions of votes. More votes, millions of votes than when you put what Donald Trump was talking about and what he had would have put him all over the number of people there. But it did it. That's a lie. He's not even really thinking. He's just lying. Don't care what it come out sounding like, because he knows his people are going to back up that lie. So, ladies and gentlemen, this again goes to show you what you got before you. George Floyd's murder shows you what you had before you. You had, and I'm not going to tell you again, you know what you got. And the fact that what is going on right now, that tells you what you got before you. And the fact that you got a president who seems to be a little bit more understanding, a little bit more compassionate. Don't get caught up on that crap. That's the game that's been played on the world ever since the first time people had a chance. It's the same old trap. And ain't but one game that you can play. And that game says that everybody get a chance to experience peace, prosperity, freedom, and joy, and the fulfillment of their dreams. And the only way they can guarantee it is by putting their hands to the plow to play a part in the manifestation of all the things that exist. And by doing that, the resources are free, come from God, like the ground that this earth that this grass is growing on. And our needs, that they came from God too. And so the resources to meet those needs are here. And since all of us require of them, then each of us play a part in it. And so when we get it out, when it comes back to us, it belongs to us. It belongs to the people. It's created by the people. It belongs to the people. And it is not to be conned by some Donald Trump or someone like Donald Trump talking about, let's use money. And now when they talk about using money, you know what that is about. That is about having and some having not. That's about conning, deceiving. That's all about exploitation. That is nothing but the pit of hell. And it's championed by people like Donald Trump. And I don't want you to think that the church has gotten out of this. The church's responsibility, well, I guess I have to say, well, I'll tell you this. The church's responsibility is to be heaven's police on earth. Not to put people in the jail, but to expose a lie and stand up for truth. And before they themselves engage themselves in the lie, they will allow somebody to kill them. Then that's a statement to the world, to themselves, and back to heaven. But we ain't playing this stuff. You see what I'm saying? That's the real stuff. That's the real deal. And what's going on in the country right now is nothing but this. Even with religion, even with the church, it's the same game that the world is playing. It's just on a different title. Same game that the world is playing on a different title. Otherwise, there's no way in earth that Donald Trump could still be out there telling that lie. And they got on TV spreading that lie over and over and over and over. To who they're spreading it to? They're spreading it to people who they say are stupid, ignorant, and doesn't have as much sense as this puppy. That's what Donald Trump think about America. And those people that's lying to you think no more than what Donald Trump, that you ain't even smart as this puppy. You better prove that they're wrong. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. I had something special I wanted to say with a title. I can't think what the title is, so I'll put something up there. Just hope you listen to it. Goodbye.